Hi, everybody. My name is Cindy Gast, and I will be your Zoom host for the evening. I'm the president of our Charlottesville, USA Dance Chapter, and on behalf of our entire board, it's my pleasure to welcome each one of you to our free Zoom class. Tonight, we are thrilled to have Leah Gunnoe joining us again. Leah started taking ballroom dance lessons with Justin Siegler at Blue Light Ballroom in 2014, where she trained in American-style smooth and rhythm. In 2017, she began taking lessons with Adam Mehring at Smooth Sailing Ballroom, adding international standard and contemporary dance. In April 2019, she became an instructor for Smooth Sailing Ballroom and has been teaching private lessons and group classes ever since. So I'd like to welcome Leah. And Leah, at this point, I'd love to turn the evening over to you for your cha-cha class. The floor is yours.
All right, hello everyone. As Cindy said, my name is Leah Gunnoe and I am an instructor here at Smooth Sailing Ballroom. And tonight we're going to be doing basic and intermediate cha-cha. So cha-cha is a Latin rhythm dance and it originated in Cuba 1948 to 1950, and it comes from the dance mambo. And they have a lot of similarities across the board with other Latin dances. Cha-cha, for example, is very fast-paced, it's very sharp, it has lots of steps, complicated footwork, and lots of fun technique that I really enjoy teaching. So I want to start off tonight by learning the basic step of cha-cha, but before we do that, we're going to go over the rhythm of it. So if everyone's ready to start dancing, I'm going to turn and face this way, and I want you to start with your right foot free, and we're just going to start with the rhythm. So it's 1, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1. Okay? Next, we're going to add a little bit of forward and back motion into that. So starting with our right foot again, we're going to take a forward step for 1. Step forward, 2, 3, bring the feet closed for cha-cha, 1. Now back on the left for 2, 3, cha-cha, 1. Forward, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1. Back, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1. 2, 3, cha-cha, 1. 2, 3. Very nice. The next thing we're going to do is work on getting the side-to-side motion. So when we do cha-cha, as opposed to other dances, it moves horizontally more. So when we do something like rumba, we're going in a box. When we do something like mambo or salsa, we're going forward and back. But when we do cha-cha, we're moving horizontally. So we're taking that side step, 2, 3, horizontal, cha-cha, 1, 2, 3. So I want everyone to stand with their feet closed, and then you're going to have your right foot free, so that means you're going to have your weight on your left foot, and you're going to be rocking to the right with your right foot for 1, 2, 3, come back to the center for cha-cha, 1, rock on the left for 2, 3, cha-cha, 1, 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 2, 3. So something that you're going to notice tonight is that cha-cha is a very fast-paced dance. So as we learn new steps and as we learn new patterns, we're going to start them slowly, and if we're doing them over and over, we're going to gradually start to speed up. So that's just something to be aware of. Okay, next thing I want to focus on is just working on that basic step. So I want everyone, for now, I want you to have your right foot free, and we're going to step to the side for 1. Now we're going to use our left foot, step forward, rock forward for 2, 3. Now here's the difficult part. You're going to be going side together side for 4 and 1. I'll show that again. Rock forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Rock back on your right foot for 2, 3, 4, and 1. Rock forward on the left for 2, 3, 4, and 1. Rock back, right, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. Very nice. I assume that everyone did that perfectly. So the next thing I want to look at is something called lock steps. And we're going to do these, we're going to practice them, and then we're going to try them to music to just get warmed up a little bit before we start doing our patterns. So I want everyone to have their right foot free, place it in front of you, transfer the weight onto it, lock your left foot behind, and step forward on the right. Do that a couple times. And 1, and 1, and 1. Turn around and do the same thing with your left foot forward. And 1, and 1, and 1. And you can see as I do that, I'm collapsing, sort of bending into this, raising my left hip up as I step on the left foot. And as soon as I transfer that weight, boom, I snap my right hip up. So it's compress and extend. Compress, extend. Another thing to be aware of is that when we do these Latin rhythm dances, we want to make sure that every time we take a step, we're landing on a straight leg. So when we're doing our side together side, we want to be on straight, 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 and back the other way, straight, 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 straight. All right, at this point, I'll stop and see if anyone has questions about any of that. I know that was a lot of basic information.
So hi, Leah, this is Cindy. There are no questions, but I would like to ask everyone to please mute yourself. We have a couple people who are not muted, and that interferes with the recording and the audio for that. And let me see, we have one person just coming in right now to join us. I want to make sure. Let's see, where is he? Okay, everybody, I think everybody's muted now. Thank you. All right. Carry on.
All right, thank you so much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a song on, and I wanna just practice some of those moves. And I'm gonna call them out. We're gonna start off with a slower paced song, but if any point you have questions, you can go ahead and type them in the chat and I will answer them. So let me get that up. All right, I'll count us off. I want to start with that 1, 2, 3. Cha-cha, 1, 2, 3.
Walking home, stumbling home, getting curious. What's
5,
on your mind?
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Cha-cha, 1, 2, 3. Cha-cha, 1, 2, 3. Cha-cha, 1, 2, 3. Cha-cha, 1. I'm going to move on and practice those side steps. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Cha-cha, 1, 2, 3. 4 and 1, 2, 3. 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Side step, cha-cha-cha. 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 All right. So before we go on, I just wanted to do that so that you could warm up a little bit, get a sense of the rhythm for cha-cha. And now we're going to go over the basic step, the follower and the leader's patterns. So first, I want everyone, while we're doing this class, to be practicing your frame. So Latin rhythm frames differ from smooth frames in that when you're doing smooth, you want to have a nice shape. You want to be pushed out from your partner from here up, but you want to have connection here because that's how you get that sweeping motion across the floor with your dances like waltz and tango, foxtrot, Viennese waltz. When we're doing a rhythm dance, everything is more tight, it's more compact, and it doesn't sweep around the room quite as much. So cha-cha is what's called a spot dance, in that unless you're doing a traveling pattern, it would stay in one spot on the floor pretty much. So leaders, I want you to take your right hand and bring it around your follower's shoulder blade. So it should be about right here. And then I want you to bring the other hand up. We want to have this be a 90-degree angle, and we want the bottom of your bicep to be parallel with the floor. All right? And then followers, I want you to basically fill in his shape. And you can wrap your hand and have it on that. You can either have it back around his shoulder, or you can have it more on his arm. It's really whatever you're comfortable with. But when you're practicing this frame, I want you to make it round, and I want you to imagine that there's a beach ball that you two are holding with your chests. So just keeping your chest upright. I like to think of a string connecting my chest to the ceiling, and someone's pulling that string. It's keeping my chest lifted, chin lifted, and really round that shape. All right. And then if you're just practicing by yourself tonight, I still want you to practice that frame because one, it's a really good workout for your arms, trust me. And two, it'll help make the steps that we're doing look more elegant and professional. So now I'm gonna start with going over the basic cha-cha pattern for the leaders. So if I could have all of my leaders separate from the followers, you're going to be starting with your left foot free. Let's get that frame up. We're going to be stepping side for 1. We're going to be rocking back on the right foot for 2, 3. Rock back on the left. Then you're going to do your 4 and 1, 4 and 1. Rock forward on the left for 2, 3, 4 and 1, 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 2, 3. So something I like to think about when I'm doing cha-cha is really, it's the motion and the connection between your rib cage and your chest and the floor. And I like to feel that through the balls of my feet. So when I dance, I like to think about really pushing the balls of my feet into the floor. So, sorry, I'll scoot back a little bit so that I can get that nice Latin rhythm effect that we like to see. And another thing that'll help with that is if you're really pushing off the floor. So when I do my side together side, I'm going side, and I'm leaning into that, raising the opposite hip for 4, collecting, and then I'm really pushing in with my left leg, and I sort of explode out onto the right leg for bump. So side, and every time, something that'll help with that is landing on a straight leg. All right, so leaders, let's do your step one more time. We'll be starting with that left foot free for 1, back on the right, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 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 2, 3. All right, followers, it's your turn. All right, so we're basically going to be mirroring the leader. So I want you to get that frame up, and I'm going to turn around so that you can see my feet. But in reality, of course, you'll be facing each other. So we're starting with that right foot free followers. We're taking a step to the right for 1, rocking forward on the left for 2, 3, side together, side, back on the right, 2, 3, side together, side, 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 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3. All right, I can't see you, but I'm sure it was lovely. One thing that helps me when I'm either practicing a dance or a step with a count is I actually say the beats aloud, and it helps me make sure that every time I say a number, I'm actually changing weight. So that's what we should be doing. So every time I'm saying a number, I'm changing weight. Changing weight from left to right, 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. All right, so I want everyone, if you have a partner, grab your partner, and we're gonna try just the basic step together without music, and then I'll take questions if you have any, and then we'll try it together with music. All right, we'll start off slow. And leaders, I'm gonna be doing your part. So if leaders wanna face the camera, that way they can see what I'm demonstrating for them. All right, let's get that frame. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Chop, chop, 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 1, 2, 3. 4 and 1, 2, 3. 4 and 1. We're going to speed it up to 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3. 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 Cha cha. 1, 2, 3. All right, very nice. Do we have any questions before I put some music on? All right.
Did you hear me? There, I'm back. No, I don't see any questions. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. All right.
Show me more, a little more. It's
All right.
getting scandalous.
Followers, I'll do your part this time.
My
So followers want to face the camera.
waiting for
Starting with that right foot free.
real dangerous. Maybe the
5,
stars
6,
above
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 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 1. Stop. With me. Stop me. All right. So next, I want to talk about adding a little bit of rotation to make that basic step a little bit more interesting, because after a while, it can get repetitive. And if there's anything at all while we're going through that you want to see again, even if we're in the last 10 minutes and you want to review something from the first 5 minutes, that is okay. I'd be happy to re-explain and go over anything again. So, leaders, as the leader, it is up to you to lead your follower and do that rotation if you want to add that rotation. So, I'll teach you how to do that. So, we're going to be doing a basic. Just do one basic first, which is just be side, back step, side to the other side, and then pause as we do the rock step. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Now as you go into this rock step, you're gonna go at a slight angle. You can put an eighth, a quarter, however much rotation you want to. It doesn't have to be a precise number, whatever feels natural for you and your partner. We're gonna go in, and as we leave the rock step is when we're gonna add the rotation. And we're gonna open up with our left shoulder. So if we're rocking on our left foot, we open back up with our left shoulder. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. Now we have that right foot free, rocking back for 2, 3, 4, and 1. Left foot, left shoulder, 4 and 1. Right foot, right shoulder. All right. Are there any questions about that?
No questions yet.
Fantastic. Okay, let's put some music back on. I'll change the song so that we don't have to listen to the same one again. And we're just gonna practice doing the same steps but adding some rotation in with it. 5, 6. Oh, I'll be doing the leader's part for this. 5,
Feeling I cannot
6,
deny.
5, 6, 7, 8.
You're
1,
the fire
2,
that makes me
3,
come
4
alive.
and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1,
Love that I
2,
can't
3,
hide.
4
It's
and 1,
burning deep
2,
inside
3, 4
wherever I
and
go.
1, 2, 3, 4
Wherever I
and
go.
1, 2, 3,
I've got
4
that
and 1, 2,
good
3,
feeling
4 and 1, 2, 3,
kicking me
4
out of my
and 1,
chair,
2, 3,
dancing like
4
I don't
and 1, 2,
care.
3,
I've
4
got that
and 1, 2,
good
3,
feeling,
4 and 1, 2, 3,
shouting it out
4
'cause I
and 1.
can't contain it. I got to tell somebody, gotta tell somebody, gotta tell somebody, gotta tell somebody. I got to tell somebody. You're the sun that's lighting up the sky, the sky.
Keep doing it. I'm
The
going to come
thunder
over and
waking up the night.
take a look, see how we're doing.
The sound of living truth is the beat that makes me move wherever I go, wherever I go. I've got that good feeling, kicking me out of my chair, dancing like I don't care. I've got that good feeling, shouting it out 'cause I can't contain it. I got to tell somebody.
All right, let's come back together for a minute. So one thing to pay attention to is we want to make sure that when we do this that we're trying to maintain one level. So as we push out of those side steps, we don't want to be pushing out so that we're jumping or anything. We want to push out smoothly. So while I might be leading with my rib cage, which we'll go over in a minute, and moving from here down, I want to keep my shoulders as level as possible. So the height of my rib cage can change, height of my feet can change, but I want my shoulders to be at the same position the entire time, no matter what I'm doing. I never want those to move. Okay. Any questions about anything before we go on and do a pattern?
Nope, we got some praise for the dancers, but no questions.
All right, yes, everyone is looking really good. All right, so the first thing I want to go over is our crossover breaks, and I will demo those one time, and then we'll learn our individual parts, and we'll try it together and try it with music. All right, so we're going to be starting off with the basic, and it's going to go 1, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1, 2, 3, cha-cha, 1, underarm turn, 2, 3, back to the basic, 2, 3. All right, followers, let's take a look at your part first. All right, so have that left foot free, have our frame up. We're taking that side step, 1, back rock, 2, 3. Here, we want to start bringing your hand down. So we're going to go from this, and we want to rotate it through because we're going to be pulling our partner through. right? So 1, 2, 3. As we do that side together side, begin to roll that hand, side together, side. Now here, your weight should be about 85-90% on your right foot, 10 or 15 on your left foot. I could use it or not use it and still have my balance. And we're gonna bring that left foot through and rock for 2, 3. So I have my back foot, toes are out, and if I were to bring my right foot in, it would hit basically the arch of my right foot. So we want that there for 2, 3. You're gonna go side together, side, side together, side, and do the exact same thing on the other side for 2, 3, side together, side, 2, 3, side together, side. Here you're gonna do a back rock and turn the lady for 2, 3, side together, side, back, rock. All right, let's go over that one more time. Having our left foot free, and the main thing with the handhold is we're switching from this and we're rolling the hand, and we want to get what is a swing handhold. So if you've done swing, you want to go from your smooth rhythm handhold, roll the hand. This is my leader hand. We're rolling the hand, and then we're bringing it through, and we want to have that handhold. And it's important for this because this step has a lot of momentum. So that hand connection is really important. And when I do it, I like to think of a bar connecting from my hip to my wrist. So when I turn into my crossover, whichever hand is connected, my hip just comes with it. So if I'm here, and my hand's pulled, my hip's pulled too. 2, 3. Same thing with the other side. 2, 3. We want to keep those things solid. All right, leaders, let's do your part one more time. All right, starting with that left foot free. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Roll the hand. Cross over. Get the other hand. Cross over right. Get the other hand. Cross over left. Chop, chop, chop. Back. Rock. Chop, chop, chop. Back to the basic. All right, followers, let's look at your part, which is going to be the exact same, except you're going to be doing the turn. All right, and we'll break that down. Starting with that right foot free. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. He's going to roll the hand for 4 and 1. You're going to be doing the same weight distribution, but on your left foot. And you're going to be pulling the right foot through first for 2, 3, side together, side, 2, 3, side together, side, 2, 3, side together, side. Now here, this is where your underarm turn is. So you have the weight on that right foot, and this is normally where you would do a 4th crossover, but we only do odd numbers. So we're going to do 3 for now. Bring that left foot over, crossing it over. You're going to spiral for 2, 3, chop, 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 2, 3. All right, so we do that turn. Left foot crossing the right foot over. I like to think about the wall that I started by facing when I started to turn is going to be the wall that I finished facing. So I'm looking at that door, I see that door, and I know that when I come back around, I need to be looking at that exact same door. So if you have an object in your house that's going to be good for you to look at or something, that would be a great idea. And one other thing about that turn is we don't want the hand to get stuck. So when we do it, we want the hand to glide around. We don't want the leaders to like clench onto the hand and grab it. Have enough momentum in it to have a tighter grip, but don't grip. Just have like a soft but firm handhold is how I would describe it. All right, followers, let's do your part again. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. questions about that before we try it with music?
No questions.
All right, fantastic. Oh, one thing I do want to mention is that when we do arms, we want them to look pretty. We don't want them to just be thrown out there. So when we do the arms with our crossover, you want to think about having your thumb and middle finger, tap them together, and then we want to have them pointed down, and we want to have the wrist, bent out like that. We call that broken. So we want to have the wrist broken when we do those. And it's going to feel a little awkward at first, but I promise it looks really good. And we want to keep a straight arm as we do it. 2, 3, and we want to make sure that we're not bringing it behind our body because that twists our momentum the wrong way. All right, so if that makes sense, we'll go ahead and try it with music. And let me know again if you have any questions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, I'm going to do the leaders part. We're going to do the crossovers, and then I'll just give you some time to practice the basic step with or without rotation, and then the crossovers as you please, just sort of fusing them together. All right. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Cha-cha, 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 1, 2, 3. I'll do them a couple more times if you all want to do it with me for practice. Otherwise, just ignore me and I will not count out loud. 5, 6, 7, 8. Come over and see how you all are doing. All right, it's looking great. For the people that I can see, looks fantastic so far. One thing to go over with that before we move on to one of my favorite cha-cha patterns. This is actually my favorite dance. It's my favorite dance to teach, and it's my favorite dance to do. It gets me very excited. I think I like the sharp movements and the fast-pacedness of the music. But anyways, before we move on, I want, when you do those crossovers, instead of placing the foot, I want you guys to really plant that foot that you're pulling through. So if you're pulling the right foot through, instead of bringing it up and then putting it back down, I want you to pull it through. And I think about dragging, so my toes stay turned outwards. I think about dragging the inside of my foot as I use the momentum for my arm. 2, 3. So really, I know it might be difficult with carpet depending on what shoes you're wearing, but to the best of your abilities, really try to pull the foot through. I can demo the same thing on the other side, dragging the inside of the foot, pulling it through. And one styling point, it makes a really nice line if you have that back hip up, and we're really lifting there and creating that shape. And same thing with the other side. So if I'm stepping forward on my right foot, I want to have that left hip up. All right? Any questions about anything we've done so far?
I do not see any questions yet.
All right, sounds good. That either means everyone is really confused or everyone's doing great. And from the looks of it, everyone's doing great. So it's a great sign. All right, so I mentioned a bit ago that we lead with our rib cage. And I want to practice feeling what our rib cage does when we do cha-cha. So I want everyone to put your thumbs at the top of your rib cage, and depending on how big your hands are and how large your torso is, either your pointer finger, your index finger, or your middle finger at the bottom of your rib cage. And I just want you to take side steps like this, just slow down, and I want you to feel your rib cage in the direction that you're going, expanding and contracting. So if I'm moving with my right foot, my right rib cage is expanding and contracting the most. And I want to feel that crunch in my rib cage. It should feel like you're doing a crunch with your abs, except standing up. All right? So try that just a couple of times both ways. And then next time you do your basic, I really want you to practice leading with that rib cage. And that'll help you get that extension of the back leg and help you sort of get that nice line if that's what you're looking for. So that's a little bit more advanced technique, but if that is something that you're interested in, definitely try to incorporate that. Okay, so I want to do something a little bit more complicated, something that I think is very fun. I'll demo it one time, and there's two different versions of it, and you can sort of pick which version you would like to do. But I'll do the followers part, and I'm just going to demo. So we're starting with the basic. We're going 1, 2, 3, cha, cha, cha. Here the leader will have changed the hand position, and you're going to be hand to hand, or you can completely drop the hands entirely, and you're still going to be facing each other. And you're going to step on your left foot, cross your right foot in front for 1 and 2, side step, cross the left foot in front of the right for 2 and 3. Here we're going to do what's called a hip twist. Bring the right foot in, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now as we take a step on this left foot, we're going to do our crossover, 2, 3, we're going to go cha, 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 underarm turn, 2, 3, cha, 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 back, step. I'll demo that one more time, up to speed, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, cha, cha, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, and we collect that frame at the end. So followers, since I just demoed your part, let's go ahead and do you first, and then I'll take questions in between parts if we have any. All right, have that right foot free, going 1, 2, 3, cha, cha, 1. Have the weight on the left foot, we're going to cross the right in front for 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, hip twist, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, crossover, 2, 3, 4 and 1, turn, turn, cha, cha, 1. All right, so if that feels comfortable for you, you can keep doing that, all those steps. If that is a little bit more than you're looking for right now, that is completely fine. And you can just stick with the 1 and 2, 2 and 3. And you can do this 4 times instead of adding those hip twists. And for those hip twists, you're just going to be stepping and going cha, 1, 2, and 3. So it's basically the exact same thing that we did at the beginning when we were going 2, 3. We were practicing the cha-cha rhythm. So it's that, except facing your partner. Followers, let's do your part one more time. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Crossover, 2, 3, cha, cha, 1, 2, 3, back to basic. All right, are there any questions about that?
Well, there wasn't a question about that, but there was an earlier question, and it was, Is the crossover the same as a New Yorker? And we actually had some of our participants answer the question also. So the answer they gave was that yes, the New Yorker is the Latin figure and the crossover break is the rhythm figure.
Yes, this is correct.
Would you agree? Okay.
Yes, I completely agree. I tend to use, when I'm teaching a class, I tend to use crossover just because I'd say it's the universal term for the step. And that's just what I prefer to use, but we are doing Latin technique. So technically it would be called a New Yorker, but just for comprehension purposes. But you can use whatever you want to. But yes, crossover and New Yorker are the exact same thing.
Thank you.
Right.
That was the, oh wait, there's another question. Name of the figure before the hip twist. What is the name of, yeah.
I just call those, I don't even know that I have a name for those actually. I saw this pattern in a video one time and learned it because I absolutely loved it and it looked like a blast. They're sort of like parallel rocks where you do this, where you parallel rock and cha-cha, except you're doing them in the same direction. So if linking a name with a step helps you, I would call them parallel rocks. If that's helpful, and I can call them that, if that'll be beneficial. So followers, let's do your part one more time, and then we'll move on to the leaders. And if you have any more questions, feel free to type them in the chat. All right, we're gonna try it up to speed. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Cha cha. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2, 3, 4 and 1. 2, 3, cha cha 1. Okay. Any more questions?
Sam said that I believe the Latin name for those are split Cuban breaks.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. Leaders, let's do your part. Starting with that left foot. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Cha cha 1. 2 and 3. 4 and 1. 2 and 3. 4 and 1. 2, 3. Cha cha 1. Rock back as the follower turns. Cha cha 1. Back to the basic. All right, let's do that one more time. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Cha cha 1. 2 and 3. 4 and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2, 3. Cha cha 1. 2, 3. Cha cha 1. 2, 3. All right, put some music on. We can try that together. I will do the followers part first, and then I will do the leaders part after that. Right.
It's getting harder not to think of you. Girl, I'm exactly where I wanna be. The only things I need you here with me. Oh, if it's true, don't leave me all alone out here. Wondering if you're ever gonna take me there. Tell me what you're feeling, 'cause I need to know. Girl, you gotta let me know which way to go, 'cause I need to know. I need to know. Tell me, baby girl, 'cause I need to know. I need to know. I need to know.
All right. It's looking good from what I can see. I'm impressed. All right. So I want to add, if you all, this is a choice. We can add another level to this if you are interested. It is completely optional. And it's for the leader or the follower. So I'll demo it for both, and we're not going to spend a ton of time on it just because it is optional. So, and there's one quick fun thing that I want to do after this before we have to wrap up for the evening. And as usual, if you have any questions about anything at all, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and I will answer them after this. Okay, so normally after we do this pattern, when we're doing this pattern, we do 2, 4, and 1. We do our crossover, and we go side to the other side, and then do our turn. If you want an extra challenge, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That's all the same. The crossover is the same. Here, instead of cha-chaing to the side, we're gonna turn. And we're gonna turn to our right. So we're gonna turn clockwise. So we're gonna go 2, 3, 4, and 1, back to the basic. All right? Might make you a little bit dizzy, but if you're in a space that you can and you want to do it, you can go ahead and try that out. So, followers, we will do your part first. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3. And when we do that turn, it's traveling. So if you have time, it looks good to bring the feet together in the middle. What I mean by that, stepping, close the feet, turn, and then step out of it. But if you just want to get the rotation, you can also just keep it open and just sort of bring the feet around each other like that. So it's whatever you're comfortable with at this point. All right, followers, let's do your part one more time, and then we'll do the leaders. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Cha-cha. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. All right, leaders, you're up. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So followers, when we do this, when we do that horizontal turn, we're stepping under our right foot, stepping out with our right foot. Leaders, when we do it, same thing, but with our left foot. All right? So I'll put some music on if you want to practice that. I'll do followers part and then the leaders part. And I'm going to put a little bit of a faster song on just as a little added challenge. It's not too much faster, but all right.
All I need to know is where you want my lipstick.
5.
Mr. Worldwide. Red one. Where you want my lipstick. Sophia and Gunnoe. You wanna wake up
All right, looking good. All right, do we have any questions?
Sorry, no more questions?
Oh wait, I think I might see one. Is there a leader's cue for split Cuban breaks?
Ah, new question, yes.
Yes. So, so this, when you do this, you want to make sure that you're either letting go of the hands completely, and that's how they'll know to go into this pattern. Or if you're less familiar with your partner, you can keep that hand. And how I've been led is you sort of pull. We want to think about that rod with the hip again. Instead of pulling all the way through though, we want to sort of pull down as we do that. And you can keep both hands and pull down and down. And then here, you should just feel that the momentum of your leader is not still moving in that direction, and then he's stopping it with a hip twist. Does that make sense? Does that help? So it's all about gauging how your leader is controlling your momentum.
Yes, yes. The person who asked the question says yes, A-okay.
Perfect. All right, do we have time for one more thing?
Sure, we started a little bit late, so certainly.
All right, perfect. Okay, I'm glad to hear it. All right, so this is something that I find really fun about cha-cha. And we sort of went over it at the beginning, but I want to try it with music, and that is lock steps. And you can do them in a pattern, but just for now, it's really great to practice your technique. So it's really great to practice that extension and hip raising we do when we're going side together side in a forward and back manner also. And this is one of the best ways that we do that. So everyone start with your left foot free, step forward, raising the back right hip on a straight leg, and then walk the right foot, collect, and pop that hip back out. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. And I am physically locking my legs together, locking my feet together with my legs. So if I try to push through, I can't, my leg gets stuck. So I really want you to have that motion. You can think about kissing the front of this knee to the back of this knee or vice versa. So we're gonna do alternating lock steps going back and then alternating lock steps, I meant forward, and then we're gonna do them going back. So we're gonna start rocking back on the right foot. So we're gonna go for 1, 2, 3. Cha, 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 cha. You have your left foot free to rock forward for 2, 3. Cha, 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 2, 3. And we did 2 pretty complicated patterns tonight, so this is just a way to add a little bit more technique into it. And you can also hold hands with your partner like this and practice one of you going forward and one of you going back and alternating sides. All right, so I'll do a front and back view of that too. So starting with our left foot, 2, 3, lock in front, lock with the right, lock with the left, rock right foot, back on the left, back on the right, rock left. I'll do that going forward, rocking back on the left for 2, 3, cha, 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 2, 3, cha, 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 2, 3. All right, so I'm gonna put some music on.
Quick question.
Practice that, really practice getting that extension with the back hip, landing on a straight leg in front as you do it.
One quick.
It'll make your lines look very nice. And if you have a partner and want to do it with hands, that's okay. Yes, sorry.
Yes, there is a question. Which hip goes up when going backwards?
Oh, okay, that's an excellent question. So when we're going back, the leg that we're stepping back on, we want that hip up. So when I'm stepping back on my right foot, my right hip will be up. Cha, cha, cha. I switch, cha, cha, cha. My left hip will be up. So whichever foot you're stepping back on. Right. Let's try it with some music. I'll do it from a couple different angles. If that doesn't answer your question, let me know. All right, I'll count us off. I'm gonna do them this way first, starting rocking back on the left. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 1.
She got cherry lips, angel eyes.
Alright, I'll do it front back.
Knows exactly how to tantalize.
1,
She's
2,
out to get you, danger by design. Cold-blooded vixen, she don't compromise. She's something mystical in colored lights. So far from typical, but take my advice. Before you play with fire, do think twice. And if you get burned, don't be surprised. Drifting higher than the ceiling. Ooh, baby, it's the ultimate feeling. You got me lifted, feeling so giddy. Sugar, how you get so fly.
We're always leading with our elbows, so just allow a leading with the elbows pulling, same thing. Feel free to add that in. There's no right time to necessarily move your arms into bridges. Practice getting them moving.
Sweet talking lady, love how you entice. Sugar with just the right amount of spice. I'm in the loop and everyone's desire. She's out to get you. You can run, you can hide.
If you want to,
She's something mystical that color lights. I say, so far from typical,
and go
but
back to
take
that
my
one.
advice. Before you play with fire, do think twice. And if you get burned, well, baby, don't you be surprised.
One, maybe. So I'm always doing forward walk. So stepping on my right, turn with my left.
You got me lifted,
Stepping on my
feeling so
left,
gifted.
turn with my
Sugar,
right.
how you get so fly.
All right. All right.
So,
Are we about out of time?
yeah, I think we are. If you're able to wrap it up, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Do you have any last questions before I wrap things up? Anything? All right. So thank you all so much for coming. I have been looking forward to this for a long time now, and I'm so happy that I got to come back and teach my favorite dance. And once again, I'm Leah Gunnoe. I teach at Smooth Sailing Ballroom. And if you're interested in starting private lessons, it's $20 for an introductory lesson, and you can email smoothsailingballroom@gmail.com. All right, thank you guys so much for coming. It was great to see old faces and new faces and friends and family alike. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Leah. This is an excellent class. Lots of great technique patterns and lots of good music opportunities to practice. We really appreciate your time and effort you put into preparing for this class. Thank you so much. Great to have you back again.
Thank you.
And now I'd also like to speak to all of our participants for just a minute. First of all, thank you for joining us for Leah's free class tonight. We are thrilled to see you. We hope you had fun and we welcome your feedback. Secondly, USA Dance Charlottesville provides a way for us to show additional support for our teachers. We want them all to survive this ongoing pandemic. We provide contact information, including donation information for each instructor following each of our free online Zoom classes. We make it easy for you to privately send individual contributions to support these dedicated teachers as you choose. You can use PayPal to send a contribution to Leah using the email address, which I'll copy into the chat window momentarily, and we will publish it afterwards as well for your reference. Thank you again, Leah, for spending this time with us tonight. We're so appreciative. Also, we'd like to thank Smooth Sailing Ballroom for providing their studio space to host Leah's class for us tonight. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn notifications on to see our growing collection of free online dance classes. Our YouTube channel link will be added to the chat window, and you'll also find it in our online information. Going forward, please watch for our monthly class updates for 2021. We hold our free classes on the fourth Saturday of almost every month of the year, and we have more fun classes planned for this year. Next month, for example, on March 27, Edwin Roja will join us to teach Argentine tango. We look forward to seeing you next month if you can make it. So to all of you, thank you again for joining us tonight. We wish you a wonderful 2021, and we look forward to dancing in person again as soon as we all can.